What is up, Impact Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Anthem of Impact Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jason, as always, coming to you every week that I try. Just got off of honestly doing a bunch of stuff for the WrestleCon weekend stuff, the Twitch stuff, the Impact Wrestling versus Lucha Underground event. That review is getting a lot of views for my channel, so I really appreciate everybody viewing that. Give them that one to check out. Hopefully, we can get this one up to the same type of numbers. So, today I'm going to be talking about Thursday night's episode of Impact Wrestling from the 12th of April, 2018. We're inching ever so closer to the Redemption pay-per-view on April 22nd, and it is looking like it's going to be amazing. Cannot wait for this pay-per-view. It's going to be really good. And, you know, there's a lot of other good things coming up. Just saw the other day on Twitter, or was it yesterday or something like that, that the partnership with Rise has now announced that in Naperville, Illinois, which is, it's close enough that I could maybe make a day out of it, or a day and a half. Just kind of depends on my work schedule, my wife's work schedule, so we're going to have to see. I might try to go to this. But it's now I believe a one night only. Can't remember, but they changed the name of the event to something with the knockouts, and I can't remember. I should have wrote this down. Other people are probably going to tell me exactly what it is. I know what it is, I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm not going to sit here and waste time trying to look it up either. But it's going to be a special event with knockouts. I believe they're going to hold, I think, a tournament, or they're at least going to have some type of match where they're going to crown new women tag team champions. So I'm guessing this is going to kind of maybe replace the knockout tag team titles that they had before. They're going to go a different route with this, with the Rise partnership. But I'm stoked about it. I think it's really cool. You know, again, just whenever wrestling companies work together and they can do things and different out of the box things, it gets exciting. And anybody that's still just poo-pooing and shitting all over Impact Wrestling just because they think it's cool to do so, or because they can't get over their own, you know, whatever you want to call it, you know, elitist thinking that they think they know it all in the world of wrestling, and just can't give Impact a chance because it's not cool, and because they know better, or whatever else they want to talk, you know, however else they want to be. Man, you're missing out. Because it's not even just about Impact, man. It's about Impact working with guys like Lucha Underground. Whether they want to come out and flat out admit it, Impact is kind of through Austin Aries working with Ring of Honor, working with Rise, working with Destiny, working with Defy. I mean, guys, for a little bit, I had said this before whenever I found out that Austin Aries versus Shane Strickland champion versus champion event was going to be happening. I said it would be awesome if Shane Strickland could win that title. The only reason why I say, and I've said this about doing these different house shows and partnerships before, is if we can have something happen big on those shows, not only does it help those independent promotions that aren't on TV, but so it'll help them with, you know, future attendance numbers, obviously, but it helps just the whole world of wrestling. It makes it unpredictable again. And we almost had it. Shane Strickland won it for like a second, and then I guess the referees overturned it. Again, I didn't see it. I just happened to see somebody talk about it and post some pictures and a quick video of the very end of it. So, and again, you know, out of context, I couldn't quite pick up what was going on. It was just from somebody's like cell phone. So I just thought it was really cool. We almost had it, and you know, even that little thing of technically Shane Strickland was kind of an Impact World Champion for a couple seconds. You know, that's something that's a buzz, and you know, I think that's just really cool, and that's what Impact Wrestling is really doing right now. Definitely creating a buzz, better than anybody else. You know, the WWE really relies on themselves to create buzz. Call-ups from NXT, and I still laugh at it every time, and I enjoy the NXT product. Most times, definitely their takeovers. Their takeovers are always awesome. Sometimes the weekly shows are pretty boring, but that's still a decent product. And but I laugh every time that they try to act like it's not part of the WWE. Yet you have the WWE logo on everything. Like it is part of the WWE. Don't act like because the NXT is doing good numbers like at a house show or oh we sold out the Smoothie King Center. Yeah, you know why? Because it's WWE and it's a big weekend. You only do it. I guarantee. Go do a takeover at the Smoothie King Center in like mid June, and it's not attached to anything else happening on Sunday. Do it. Do it. I want to see what your attendances would be. It's probably going to be around 1,000 to 3,000 tops. Not that that's a bad house, but it's just like they talk about like, oh, NXT's really growing. Well, no, it's the WWE. People go, oh, the WWE's in town, and it's part of this whole big weekend. Not only that, the big weekends always attract people from all around the world. So, you know, mid-June, you're not going to have people from Germany flying in to go see an NXT takeover. You're not going to have people from Texas flying to, you know, Philadelphia to see a NXT takeover. It's not going to happen. So those things always make me laugh. So, you know, they rely on those NXT call-ups. Like, you know, like they just brought in this big free agent. And it's not. It's your own guy that you bred and brought up on your own, decided to bring up on your own, who you're going to eventually ruin and misbook because people on Maine don't watch NXT, like the creative people don't watch NXT, have no coherence of what's going on, why this person is special down in NXT and they can't ever capitalize it on the main roster. That's just the way it is. It's only a handful of people. That's why Elias is so popular, because he had X-Pac heat in NXT. People did not want him on their TV screen. It wasn't that they hated him. They just thought his gimmick was terrible, it was outdated, and he couldn't go. Because they didn't really have him wrestle a whole lot in NXT. Comes up to the main roster, it's a little more... his gimmick fits more of that mainstream kind of casual fan type thing, where people aren't dissecting a person's character or a person's wrestling ability. They're just there to enjoy a good show. So that's why Elias works on WWE. They knew how to book that better than NXT knew how to book his gimmick. But Impact Wrestling does it relying on their goodwill, trying to work relationships with other people, and that's way more exciting than the WWE pretending that they're creating excitement. But that's enough of that little rant. Let's get into what happened on this Thursday's night show. It was a lot of fun. I thought the opening was amazing. They kind of redid it there at the very end with going a little more into detail. But it's pretty much the same video package. But man, I thought it was done really well. It helps explain stuff that for people that didn't watch Twitch, any of the Twitch stuff. So it helps further that along. I just thought it was done really well. Kevin Sullivan and the team does a great job with producing these video packages. The production value is great. I think they put a lot, like you feel like the emotion in what they're trying on how they edit it to try to convey to us, the viewer, and you definitely feel it. It comes across. I always enjoy those type of video packages whenever they do it like in that style. But then we go inside the Impact Zone, and here comes Eli Drake carrying both cases. Eli goes into cutting a promo, doing the best he can, because Eli is just amazing on the mic. I actually loved his combatants to the what chant. And like usually people do the what to people that are doing bad promos or boring promos. I think the fans do it to Eli to invoke interaction with him because they know they're going to get it. And I love how he went, huh, to what, huh, what, huh. That was hilarious. Did kind of shut him up actually too, which was good because I think, again, that's all they really wanted. They wanted that interaction with Eli. It's one of the rare moments where the crowd enhances something. They're in the Impact Zone, which at the end of this video, I'll get into it a little bit more. about the Impact Zone and the Orlando crowd. So stay tuned to the end of that. Eli Drake goes out and says that he will use his tag team title briefcase at Redemption, and he's going to go after the tag team titles. He's kind of talking about naming his partner, but he's kind of taking the long scenic route around to get to that, so that brings out LAX. They chase him out of the ring, and basically he's like, you know, Conan's doing his Conan thing, and basically was asking about, you know, enough of this just babbling. We want to know who's your tag partner. Who would be dumb enough to trust you and to be your tag team partner? And of course, Eli Drake announces, it is Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, which is it's funny. It's good. I think I'm really gonna enjoy this. Hopefully next week we get some really good video packages with Eli Drake and Scott Steiner, because we got a YouTube exclusive one of them walking back after that segment, and like, you know, Richard Justice in the back, and Scott Steiner pulls his whole fat asses thing out there and beats him. They start talking. I don't know if Steiner's trying to get in the Bullet Club or what he's trying to do, but it was funny because most of the time I saw pictures of Scott Steiner during WrestleCon, he's wearing his black and white NWO shirt. Then for the Impact Lucha Underground match, he's wearing a red and black NWO shirt. And then of course here he's too sweet and Eli Drake like nonstop. So I don't know. He's like, hey, I want a good payday, brother. I gotta get in with this Bullet Club. I'm trying to remind people I'm in the NWO, and even, you know, references that, which is good because Conan was also in the NWO. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't believe Conan's gonna be able to be at the pay-per-view due to his surgery, because he tweeted out saying that he'll be available for bookings again in May. Like, he'll be able to be up on his feet starting in May. Which obviously April 22nd is not May. So who knows? We'll see maybe if he fights it up and tries to get there for that. Because not that I want obviously a physical altercation between the two, especially with Conan's health. But I was kind of hoping to see like a payoff of that, of like NWO guys. I think it'd be really cool. I actually think it'd be hilarious and really cool if Steiner turns on Eli Drake, because I don't want to see Steiner and Eli Drake win this match. I don't want them to have the titles. LAX deserves to have them. They shouldn't job to Eli and then just no, like, you know, Scott's not sticking around. He can't do a schedule. He's not sticking around to be Eli Drake's partner. The only other way I could see that happening is if Eli and Scott Steiner win, and then Eli fires Scott Steiner, and then Eli picks his own guy off the roster. That could be interesting. That could be a lot of fun. And then have him and somebody else, Brian Cage, you know, bring back their old tag team. That'd be awesome. And then they can feud with LAX back and forth for the titles, which would be good. It'd be very entertaining. But I think what would be also really cool is have Scott Steiner kind of cost them the titles, because, you know, NWO is for life, and, you know, him and Conan have some type of interaction, which leads to Steiner going, you know what, you're right, brother, and then just beats up Eli Drake and helps LAX retain the titles. I think that would actually be pretty damn funny and a really good way to end that match. Because I'm looking forward to this match, excuse me, but more in the sense of, okay, this should be entertaining. It's not going to be a good match, but it should be very entertaining. I mean, we saw the Lucha Underground show that Scott can still, I mean, not go, but he's not a liability necessarily either in the ring. So it should be fun to watch. But yeah, Scott Steiner's promo, man, that is just, you gotta love Scott Steiner, right? You gotta love Scotty Steiner and his promos, and him always saying stuff about being fat asses, and, you know, how he's world famous, bitch. Oh my god, just, that was great. Look it up on YouTube. I'm world famous, bitch. Oh, that was great. But anyway, so that's what we got. At Redemption, LAX versus Eli Drake and Scott Steiner for the World Tag Team titles. Up next, we get Sami Callihan versus Moose. Holy crap, what a great match. You know, not all matches have to be like this great back and forth, awesome match. This was just fun. It was good. It was storytelling throughout. It was super physical. It was dominated for a while. Sammy finally gets a little blow in to really kind of turn the tides. Um, let's see here. The hell happened there? Okay. For some reason, there's a line in my notes I know is missing, and in its place it says I poo space p little like comma sign or not comma parenthesis sign. I'm like, what the hell? Must have must have had this open and accidentally were hitting some buttons. Anyway, just thought it was a lot of fun. Again, Sammy ends up trying to remember this now because now I believe he finally got the baseball bat and started hitting and hit moves. Got disqualified, which then led to OVE coming out, which then led to Eddie Edwards coming out, which then led to Lights going out as OVE. Or no, then it was Alicia. Alicia came out and laid over Eddie, which then led to Lights going out. I'm going, what the hell? Like, who would this be? Because especially by now, I'm pretty much in the dark on any type of spoilers. The first couple nights, things got spoiled from this last thing of tapings, but then I'm pretty in the dark. At least whatever I did see on Twitter, I've totally forgotten about by now, which is good. I'm going, what the hell? And it was Tommy effing Dreamer. Oh, and then of course he announced they wipe him out, they take him out, and then of course he announced that Redemption. It's gonna be OVE versus Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Tommy effing Dreamer in the first ever House of Hardcore match. Now, at the House of Hardcore event in WrestleCon, Austin Aries said that there will be a House of Hardcore match happening at the pay-per-view. I don't know if this is it, or if like he's gonna have a different type of House of Hardcore, like another match representing guys that wrestle for House of Hardcore. So I don't know yet either way. But this could be what Austin was talking about. It's basically just a hardcore match. Awesome. I think this match is going to be really good. This match could steal the show. Yeah, yes, I am saying this with the same night being that triple threat main event. Because this match, you'll have Sammy, Eddie, Moose, and the Chris brothers who can all actually put on a good wrestling match. Then you also have Tommy F and Dreamer, and I think at least I've seen Eddie be in a really good hardcore match, and I know that all three guys in OVE can have great hardcore matches. Don't know about Moose yet. Haven't really seen him put on like a hardcore weapons match. But I hope they just let them go all out. I'm hoping somebody bleeds. In fact, I know somebody will. You know it's going to be Tommy Dreamer. Man lives to bleed. It's just, this match is going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. I do think it's going to steal the show because it can have really good wrestling in it and weapons and crazy spots and blood and just it's super entertaining because that's the one thing I always loved about watching ECW. Even though sometimes rewatching old ECW stuff, especially like the weekly shows, it can get kind of boring and old and like I don't know, sometimes it's a little outdated for me, but the one thing that ECW usually always got right was that they just had fun. Like, all their matches were fun. It could be like this really kind of cool match that's going through, then guess what? 911's music hits, and he just comes walking out and starts choke slamming people for the hell of it, and people go nuts for it. That's one thing ECW always did right, and Tommy's always a big proponent of still doing those styles of matches. So he's going to do something in this match, or they're going to book something in this match, just to have fun. Because that's what Tommy does in the back for Impact, is he's a producer. He's going to help book this match. I guarantee you he probably has full creative control over this match. And it's going to be fun. So yeah, I do. I think this has a shot of stealing the show. This is going to be great. I'm super excited for this match, if you couldn't already tell. Up next, we get Josh Matthews versus P.D. Williams. Now, whenever Josh left, I was kind of waiting for somebody to step in with Sanjay. I'm really curious now to what they're gonna do with with the announce team, because the reports were before JB quit that Don Callis was going to, like, they're moving Josh out of the booth to be a manager. Don Callis is going to take over as the color guy and keep JB there with Don Callis. Now JB quit, and they put Sanjay Dutt in there as the color. So now it's going to be, if they move Josh out, they have to find a new play-by-play guy. And then I would hope eventually Sanjay, once he gets fully healthy, which, you know, if you watch him on the Twitch weekend, he seemed fairly healthy. Are they going to bring him back to the ring? Are we just going to get like a full new announced commentary team, just boom, all new? Or is Josh, I mean, I just don't know, because Sanjay does okay, but Sanjay, like, he's still not fully a commentator. Like, in my eyes, he still does a decent job, especially whenever, like, he works with Josh. He's got good chemistry with Josh. But I don't like it whenever they do him by himself. Whenever he just does, like, one, like whenever he did the Feast or Fire match, it was great, because there's one match, it was kind of a crazy match, there's nothing you really got to call. Whenever it was Seidel versus Hakeem, or Rohit Raju, and he had to do a little more of actual calling, he didn't do a very good job. They kind of forced him to do mainly, promotional ad, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the word right now. This last time, he had to talk for a long time by himself. And because Josh had to pretend like he was leaving to go get ready. Then the actual match. And then after the match, you know, it took a while before Josh could come back. So it was a long time. And he didn't do terrible. But it's just, like, it just seems like we need somebody else there that has a little more experience doing it to help guide Sanjay. So I was kind of waiting for somebody to step in, whether it be Don or Scott D'Amore, and nobody did. And that was kind of disappointing, because I'm liking what Josh and Sanjay can do, but at the same time, like, I kind of got so excited about the possibility of Kevin Kelly and Don Callis that now I'm kind of like, come on, somebody please, let's move it, let's do it. So I don't know, we'll see. I guess maybe we'll see after Redemption what's gonna happen, because they could just drop this whole Josh Matthews thing, being the spiritual guy. And just leave him there, and then maybe bring in Don Callis and have Josh and Don Callis, or Josh and Scott D'Amore. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. That's one thing that just kind of stuck out to me. But anyway, we'll get into the actual match. Josh did a lot of comical stalling, which is what I was kind of expecting. Josh is pretty funny. I tweeted at Josh after this Twitch weekend, I was like, hey, good luck being a heel now, it's good luck being a babyface, because there's no way in hell you can go back to being heel, man. After doing what you did all weekend, people can't hate you. We've seen the real Josh now, who seems like a fairly good dude, who busts his ass, and it's gonna be hard for people to hate him. And like, Josh was somebody that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But now, like, I enjoy his work. So now, like, he's doing, like, these, like, he's running around the ring screaming like a little girl. And I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I thought Josh was doing some really good stuff. Whenever Josh tried to do the Canadian Destroyer or got ready for it. I mean, just stuff like that. Or whenever he would, Seidel would get up and try to distract PD, and then Josh would come back with, like, a double axe handle. And it was kind of funny because PD wouldn't sell, but kind of sold. It was just funny. This whole match was funny. Whenever it got serious, though, was whenever Seidel finally did come in and attack Seidel to give P.D. Williams, or Seidel jumped in and attacked P.D. Williams to give P.D. the win by disqualification. Seidel really showed this really good aggressive streak and mean streak, and that was really cool. That was really cool to see. So, that just amps up their stuff even more going into Redemption. So we're going to get Seidel versus P.D. Williams for the X Division Champion. Let's see here. Now we get the another kind of fun match. It was alright. It was fun. Cult of Lee and KM versus Tyrus, Richard Justice, and Falaba. Of course, the good guys start off on top. The typical like, hey, we're coming up. The bad guys kind of got some licks in, but not too bad. They really kind of played up the whole, you can't bully us. We're better than you still. So blah blah blah. And it was entertaining. It was fun. Falaba gets the win for the team. Then they all kind of posed at the end. It was kind of funny. Tyrus is still like fairly jacked, man. If you look back and see Tyrus whenever he was Brodus Clay, to now, he's worked his ass off to get into, probably about the best shape he's gonna ever get in, just because he's just a big dude, and he's more of like a bulky dude than he is ever gonna be a muscular dude. So good on him. But yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was a good thing that they didn't really let the bullies have too much offense, because the point of this, whenever you do a bully story like this, I think the point of it is the bullies are always louder than their bite, and so don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Now in wrestling you do it physically, but you don't always have to. But that's the whole point of this story. So to have them fairly dominate in kind of a comical way. I like to make up words. In a comical way, it was good, and they won the match. They won it fairly easy, which is good. So good on this match. Then we get to the main event of the night. What a great match. In the Demon's Dance match, we get Rosemary versus Taya Valkyrie. Man, just what a great match. I could watch these two wrestle every day. They've got great chemistry. They do really well. One thing that I really loved about this is the fact that it was the main event. Now, yeah, they showed a package at the end, which is something that I kind of had a problem with. I wish they would have switched this, especially seeing the ending of this match. The ending of this match should have gone on last, because that's a very impactful way to go off the air. But one thing I loved is the fact that it was the main event, and Impact's always done this. And some people say, well, that's bad marketing. Well, no, it's not, because it's not pandering. It's not, WWE does their marketing on showing, hey, look at us, look what we're doing with our women, to such an annoying point that it's almost to the point where it's like you're overdoing it, to where you're doing it so much that you're now not treating the women like equals. You feel like you have to overdo it to make people believe that they're just as equal to the men. Impact just does it. They've always have. I mean, they've done a main event with Mickie James versus Tara in a steel cage. I'm pretty sure there's been many others, but the fact that I can't really think of a whole lot, like specific ones, I know that it happened a lot. But specific ones is mainly because they just do it. They don't sit there and go, oh my god, for the first time ever, oh my god, look at us. Look at us. Oh, it's a demons match. It's the first ever women's demon match, and it's gonna main event. They don't. They just do it, and they let their women just go out there and wrestle. Their storylines and their the way their matches are booked are just the same as the way they would do the men. In WWE, as much as they keep saying, well, look at us, we're putting them in main events, we're letting them wrestle, we're giving them time, we're putting them in these different type of matches. True. But you still don't book the matches the same way you would book that exact same match as if it were two men. And their storylines is still centered around mean girl bullcrap. This stuff is centered around, I'm the baddest, I'm the best, and I'm going to go for that title. That's what all of them have been about. Now, true, there have been times where they go into the more kind of mean girl, bratty stuff, which, look, it's fine if you do it every once in a while, because you know, that is kind of the way women are in real life. Sometimes they're just kind of catty. They're mean girls. That's just kind of what happens. Um, I'm not saying that guys don't either, but it's different. Not done the same way. Um, so so I'm not saying that like Impact's ever booked the women always perfect, but I would say generally on the full scale from the very beginning of the knockouts to now, um, they they booked their matches just fine. You would never see in the WWE, of course, you wouldn't see the guys do much of it either nowadays, but you would never ever see in the WWE two women go to a top rope and one pile drive the other through a table. You wouldn't see that. That ain't happening there. But you know, they let these women wrestle. Like they let them go at it. They let them do what they can do. And that's one thing I kept watching this whole match for, and I was super happy. And the match was awesome overall. The match was just really good. Rosemary does get the win. I'm hoping maybe next week Taya does something to Rosemary, because then maybe we'll get an actual another match at the pay-per-view. I'm really hoping the only women's match is not Ali Su Young, because this women's roster is loaded, and I would like to see as many of them on a pay-per-view as possible. I mean, we've got the story right here, right? There's no way that this just ends with that. Let's get to one more match, right? Maybe they turn this into a straight-up number one contenders match. That'd be a lot of fun, I would think. But anyway, then we get at the very end of the night, we get that repackaging, and again, they go through everything. So I'm not going to talk about that much. But overall, like I said, I thought the night as a whole was fun. A lot of moving forward. Hey, guys, this is what's happening at Redemption. Just a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. Enjoyed it immensely. Seeing the ratings today, it jumped back up. Went up to 381 again, which just proves that that week before it was because of WrestleCon. People traveling, they can't find it because now they're on, you know, they're in a different city, they don't have internet, maybe the hotel doesn't have pop, you know, all this different stuff. So that's pretty much why it dropped so much last week, because now it's right back to where it kind of was the previous 3 weeks. Being up there in the 360s, 370s, 380s, 390s. I'm hoping Redemption gets them over that 400,000 mark. If they can do Redemption and people see it and they enjoy it, I'm hoping they tune in Thursday night and we get at least a 400,000 viewership. I think Impact deserves it. They've been busting their ass, and I'm really hoping that they just keep moving up and keep doing, you know, better and better things. But now I wanted to and see. I brought this up at the very beginning with the crowd whenever they did something good, and the reason why I wanted to wait until the end of this to talk about the crowd instead of earlier is because of the way that they were during the Rosemary Taya match. They were going nuts. They were not the crowd, the two women. They were going nuts. They were beating each other's ass. They were doing some high spots. They're doing some crazy things. And it was just a well-told story match that were with some high spots and some good things. And the crowd was just coming, And I understand. People that are there will keep saying, well, we're louder than that. And look, I get it. Whenever they dub in the voiceovers, I'm sure the rest of the sound gets brought down a little bit. But look, I highly doubt Impact Wrestling, whenever they're editing their videos, it's like, hey, how can we quiet down the fucking crowd? That ain't happening. Okay? And you know how we know? It's because we can see. We see nobody interacting. We see the fact that nobody's cheering, nobody's clapping. We see people in the very front row, dead center, with their backs turned to the fucking ring half the damn time. They're on their phones. You know what the loudest crowd was whenever they had all wearing like purple shirts. There was a big group that was like wearing nothing but purple shirts. I don't know if that was the actual crowd there that night or whatever. And I totally understand too the whole argument of, well, they shoot, basically 2 episodes a night, and that's a lot of wrestling. It's like 4 hours of wrestling. I get it. I get it. I do. That's a lot of wrestling. But then don't show up. I mean, I don't know. I know there's no right answer, but it's just sometimes it's ridiculous whenever I understand if you're not too into the fat shaming match. I understand if you're not really into Josh versus Seidel. I get that. Yeah, two of the best women in the world right now, right in front of your face, going at it in a hardcore match, and you can't get excited for that? Come on. The Lucha Underground Impact Wrestling match was at the end of the night. I guarantee those fans were at that show. They were at the Rep Pro show. They were at the Crash show. They were probably, driving all over. They were doing WrestleCon. They had probably been up since 7 o'clock in the morning. The Impact show didn't start until like 9 or 10 o'clock their local time in New Orleans. That was a late night. Long day. They were loud. They were into it. They were crazy. I think it has more to do with, and I was shocked that he was willing to say it while being videotaped. But Josh is right whenever he was talking to Matt Striker during the pre-show on Twitch. That Orlando crowd is jaded. He's like, look, they're good fans. They're good people. They're fans. They clearly do what they can to get to their shows and they support. But as far as like being a crowd, they're jaded. They see them all the time. So it's not special anymore. So they don't care. They're just kind of there because that's what they're supposed to do for a taping. Ah, another taping. We're going to the tapings. And he's right. Josh is dead right. And that's just the only problem. Now, one thing I did love to sing, and Ed Nordenholm pretty much backed this up on an interview on Killing the Town with with Don Callis, who is Cyrus over the Edge, but or Cyrus over Huge, Don Callis and Lance Storm. And Nordenholm said, like, not only are they going to shorten the tapings, they're also going to look to travel, at least for the tapings. I think after Redemption, the next one is going to happen in Windsor, I believe, which is awesome. If anybody from Impact Wrestling happens to see this, hey, come to St. Louis, okay? If you don't remember, you guys did a pay-per-view lockdown here in St. Louis, the St. Louis area, back in 2010. I went. It was fun. Packed crowd, a lot of fun. We were super loud. Come back to St. Louis. We'd love to have you back. At least somewhere in this area, please. Please, 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 please. But yeah, no, hopefully they start doing that because it is. And again, I don't necessarily blame the Orlando crowd. I'm sure it's very easy to get jaded whenever you get every 3 months a new tapings and you have a full week of it and 2 shows and it's, sure, yeah, I could see that. But at the same time, like, why you're there, so why not cheer and have fun and, do your part to make the product better? I feel like whenever people say that they're true fans or not, do what you then. If you say that you're like you're the super true fan and you go to all the tapings because you're the true fan, but you're standing in the crowd just kind of watching it quietly like I would at my house, you're not doing your part. You're not doing your part to make the product better. This might not do much, me doing this right here, but this is my way to kind of try to make the product better, talking positive about it. Whenever there are things that I don't like, I try to point it out, but I try not to get too negative because I don't know much about professional wrestling as far as how, the ins and outs of it. And how, what really goes on behind the scenes. I don't know that much. So I'm not going to sit here and try to downplay it. I think one thing that is kind of dividing the WWE crowd, to use them as an example, is there are a ton of YouTubers that review the show that have a big followings that are just constantly negative. Now, it's very easy to be that way with WWE. Trust me, I've watched that show, and I feel the same way a lot of them do. But if your whole purpose as a YouTuber and a reviewer of a product, and you're saying that you're a fan of that product, yes, it's your duty to point out bad things and to point out things that you don't like so then that company will better the product. I get that. but you also got to do your part to promote the product. And Impact Wrestling right now needs that more than ever, so which is why I choose to try to be more positive. So then if somebody accidentally who has not watched Impact for a while, or somebody that absolutely shits on Impact all the time, never watch it but always wants to shit on it, but happens to see this video and actually pays attention, which I know a lot of people don't, but maybe somebody actually pays attention to what I'm saying, and they go, you know what, maybe I'll give it a shot, that actually didn't sound too bad. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to do as doing my part as a fan. Because you know what? Unfortunately, I can't always get to places that they're going. I can't travel to Canada. I have no way, no hell, no time to do that. My wife doesn't have the time to do that. So I do my best. I order the stuff. I watch the stuff. I pay for stuff. You know, I'm waiting on my shirts right now, man. I finally went on FutureLegend.com, and I'm supporting Future Legend because Future Legend supports Impact Wrestling. And his stuff is super important. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. See you guys next week. Peace.